Right now, our final September edition of the Our Town program on 94.9 and 99.1 The River is commencing. But if you want to take the glass half full approach, it's our first fall edition of the Our Town program here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Program, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. A little later on in the program, we'll talk to you, Jessica Rilling with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce, telling us about the Decorah Business Awards coming up next week. We'll also hear about other initiatives over the next few weeks regarding the chamber. We'll talk to Jay Schwamman from Fort Atkinson. It's Rendezvous Days this weekend. Of course, the main events taking place on Saturday and Sunday, and then the Education Day coming up on Friday. And around 800 students from the area will be taking part in that Education Day. Jay will tell us all about that here in a moment. Blake Moen with the Decorah Parks and Recreation Department, he will be joining us. Blake will tell us about the Gear Exchange coming up this weekend and a few more things going on with the Parks and Recreation Department over the next few weeks. But tonight, the Decorah Rotary Club will hold a picnic out at Carlson Park to celebrate the opening of some trails in that area. So our first guest this morning will be Brecka Putnam representing the Decorah Rotary Club. Brecka will bat lead off here this morning on Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Having a conversation right now with Brecka Putnam. Brecka is with the Decorah Rotary Club, and coming up tonight, there's a picnic at the park at Carlson Park. Tell us about it, Brecka.
Sure. So Decorah Rotary Club has been involved with all of the exciting new things happening at Carlson Park for a while, and we are just really excited to show it to the community. The construction is not done, but it's at a point where folks will be able to see it. And so we will be providing a free picnic for the public at the Decorah Rotary Club Benzebo Trail Hub at 5:30 this evening. So folks are welcome to come out. We'll have a few short speeches about the park. You'll have the opportunity to see of the Scholastic Mountain Bike League actually ride these new trails that have been created at the park that are rideable right now. So we've got a beginner trail, an intermediate trail, and these are primarily optimized for bicycles, but then we also have a multi-use trail that is available for everyone. So what it does is connects the original core loop, sort of 2 miles-ish, that if you've been going to Carlson Park since the beginning, you're familiar with. It connects to that and makes much more bikeable, hikeable, walkable land. And so we just want to get people out there to see it. And then we'll end with a walking tour, and folks can take the multi-use trail if they want to, which will be a little bit easier of a trek, or they can actually walk with us around one of the feature trails and actually see some of the biking elements that are out there.
Tell us the specifics of how the Decorah Rotary Club has been involved in the development of the Carlson Park trails.
Sure. So every year we have the opportunity to apply for a district grant, and the district grant gives us the opportunity to put some of our funds and our sweat equity, if you will, so our actual person power going out there and digging and building structures towards a project that's important to us. And so when Carlson Park originally started fundraising for these new items, we had a conversation with them about how could we help. And the Gazebo Trail Hub is where we landed. And so that wasn't a cash money financial donation to the park, but what it was is this really cool structure that you may be familiar with if you drive up Highway 9. It looks kind of like the top of a grain bin, but not the entire thing. And then there's space underneath it. And they cleared out the brush recently, so it's really easy to see. And so that was our contribution. And we also hosted a number of events out there because our hope was that we could make this smaller contribution and get the public excited about giving to the park as well and getting involved and getting invested. We saw that success with Trout Run Trail when we paid for original work on that. It wasn't a huge contribution, but it definitely got things moving. And so we were hoping to follow that same pattern. I'm happy to say that we did.
And I know you were been involved on the Rotary Club end of things. You're also a part of the Carlson Park Trail Coalition. Guess for you personally, this is kind of the best of both worlds, correct?
Yes, absolutely. It has been on both sides a wonder to see just how generous people have been coming out. Decorah Human Powered Trails gave their time, their tools, their labor to help with the Benzebo and a number of other things up there. Community members giving gifts of $1 to $50,000 and more. It's just been really heartwarming to see how invested people are in this piece of property that has so much potential.
And when you look at all the work that's been done, how long of a process has this been? How many years has it taken to get to this point?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So, of course, the original gift came from the Rick and Dave Carlson families, and there was a little bit of stagnation after that. It's about 110 acres, and Parks and Rec really wanted to make sure that we were building what the community wanted and needed. So way back in 2020, before I was even involved, they did online surveys and they actually did an event where you could come out to the park, masked of course, and put little stickers on this board indicating what people wanted to see. And what ended up bubbling up was everybody wanted more trails. And so fast forward to 2023, 2024, they built a partnership with the Community Foundation. So there was an avenue for raising funds. Park Rec started getting excited and supporting the project as far as moving forward with trails. And that's where Rotary really came in with that Benzebo. Meanwhile, the Trail Coalition was developing different phases, as a lot of projects have. And so we were pleasantly surprised to find that we quickly funded not just phase 1A, but phase 1B too all at once, because the excitement from the community then ultimately led to a large grant. So all told, funds raised have been about $500,000.
And for those wanting to get to this location who haven't been out there, I know when you drive by on Highway 9, you kind of see it, but if you want to get out there via foot or bike, how do you do so? If you want to get out to this location via vehicle, how do you do so?
Yes, great question. So I sort of made up an address that will get you there if you put it into at least an Apple map. It's 1230 Pleasant Avenue. But if you're in town and you know where Pleasant Avenue is, just go up the hill over Highway 9, and that'll be on your left. Or if you're at the fish hatchery, just go right up Seaver Springs. It'll be on your right by vehicle. If you happen to be in Minowa Heights on bike or foot, you can also take the Trail or the Miller Park Connection Trail, which is that brand new paved trail that extends up from the park area. So that's a great place to start if you're able to walk or bike, because it'll reduce congestion at the park that day and get you a little bit more outside time.
And when you head out to this location, anything people need to keep in mind for those that want to participate in the picnic tonight?
Absolutely. So there's no picnic tables or none of these stones that we're putting in available yet for seating. So folks should certainly bring a blanket if the ground is comfortable for them, or maybe a stadium chair. And then the other thing is, so the traditional parking lot is sort of set back further by, I think it's St. Ben's Cemetery. We're encouraging folks that have a lot of mobility to park there, so that way people who maybe need a little bit of a shorter distance to walk up can park right on Pleasant Avenue on the same side as the Benzebo. So we want to make sure that everybody who wants to experience the event can, and encourage folks who can walk a little bit further to park in that parking lot.
Anything we're missing? Anything else you'd like to pass on to the public as long as you got the forum?
Yeah, I think we're just so thankful for everyone who has supported this project on the Rotary side and on the Trail Coalition side, and we just hope folks will come out and take a look at it, enjoy it, and I think that's it.
Okay, I'll let you give one final invitation to come on out to picnic at the park at Carlson Park tonight.
Absolutely come see us. We've got free food, we've got some great speakers, and then, of course, a chance to see the park and see some really awesome young mountain bikers ride the trails, so you can see what it looks like when someone's out there on a bicycle.
All right, Brecka, we appreciate the time and the conversation here as you discuss picnic at the park and all of the improvements that have been done to the trails out at Carlson Park, into Carlson Park itself. Thank you for the time, and thank you and everyone with the Decorah Rotary Club for adding this great amenity to our community.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Brecka Putnam with the Decorah Rotary Club. It's picnic at the park at Carlson Park tonight, free of charge. 5:30 it starts. Well, as an our town guest, he's back by popular demand. Hasn't been on the show in a while, and his fans have been screaming for an appearance. And here he is. He's my friend. He's your friend. He's everybody's friend. He's Blake Moen from the Decorah Parks and Recreation office. A lot of things going on, as usual, at the Parks and Recreation office. And One event is coming up this weekend with the gear exchange. Tell us about this. I believe is this second or third year you guys have done this?
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Derek, for the coverage as always. And I'm glad that we found a spot, so that all those fans that you're talking about, which I've never heard of, but all those fans are evidently getting their taste. So this is good. No, I
They
definitely.
they're intimidated by you, man. They're
Yeah.
too shy to speak to you. They all talk to me. So
Yeah, because I'm such a bear. So, but no, I appreciate Darren. No, yeah, Gear Exchange. We're really excited for that. That's upcoming here. This will be, I think it's about our third or fourth year doing
yeah.
it with in collaboration with really it's a lot of entities. It's Pulp and Rock Brewery. It's a Chamber of Commerce here in Decorah. And really, the idea of the event is for folks to essentially look in your garage or maybe in your basement or maybe different things that at your house that maybe there's some outdoor recreation gear or other things that may be in your possession that you haven't either had any use for or maybe haven't used for a while and you're looking to either trade it in for someone else to use or trade it in for a monetary amount. So the gear exchange has been a great partnership the past few years where, as I said, people are able to go through their maybe storage that is built up in their garage basement, come up with any sort of gear that they may have that they would like to bring to this event to turn in for a monetary amount. This has kind of been an array of different equipment, anywhere from canoes to kayaks to fishing poles to boots to camping equipment and so on and so forth. So it's been a really fun event, really great thing that we've been able to do the past few years and has gained a lot of popularity.
And tell us how people can drop off equipment that they no longer need and make sure that what they no longer need can be of use to someone else.
Yeah, yeah. So the way we've done it in the past, the way we'll do it again this year is that that Friday, feel free to bring in your equipment. We will have workers as well as other specialists there to help gather equipment, put it on display for people that are interested in purchasing. The purchasing will take place over the weekend through Sunday. After Sunday, any unsold items, we ask that people are able to come back and pick up. But with that being said, over the weekend, if your item does sell, or if you're looking to sell something and you have no idea what to set for like a price point and whatnot, we've got a lot of workers and staff that will be working during that event that have a little bit of a specialty mix that they'll be able to help kind of put a price point on whatever gear you bring in. So even if you're like, this is some great equipment that I'm not 100% sure what it'd be worth or what I even want for it, but it'd be good for someone else to purchase or buy. Feel free to bring it on down and we can help you set that appropriate point as well.
And what are the hours for people to go and see this equipment and potentially purchase it?
So essentially, the specific hours and whatnot will be on our website, Facebook page, and whatnot. The way we've done it in the past, Darren, is Friday is kind of a designated day for equipment. Thursday and Friday are designated days for equipment to be brought in for people to essentially get set up and whatnot. The selling takes place Saturday and Sunday. So the specific times and whatnot, I should know off the top of my head, and I don't, but I do know that the selling will take place over the specific weekend. Come the end of the afternoon on Sunday, when that time comes, feel free to stop on by for any unsold items and be able to pick them up at that point. So, but no, we're really looking forward to it. It's a fun event. I mean, with many different other park rec activities going on this weekend, family events. We've had a lot of people in the past that are maybe coming back, Luther families that are coming back to visit their kiddos that are maybe at Luther on a weekend visit and whatnot. Stop on over too. So a great opportunity for a lot of different people to stop by.
And of course, without the help of a pulpit, this doesn't happen, right?
No, and we huge shout out to Pete Espinosa. In the past, I think our first couple years we did across the street from Pulpit at Wayside Park, and it worked well there. It was decent space, but one of the things that we always think about is rain. And so when there's rain or nasty weather, wind, what have you, we don't have a lot of coverage there. After our first couple years is when Pete Espinosa and Pulpit Rock came to us and said, hey, what are your thoughts on moving it inside? We can raise our garage doors and we can have kind of the facility, use our facility in that way. So huge shout out to Pulpit Rock and Pete Espinosa for being so supportive of this event. And again, we're looking forward to it being a very success again this year.
And when you look at, I'm just thinking this out loud. You're a guy that never looks at weather apps, right?
Never. It has nothing to do with my job.
Exactly. But again, that's coming up this weekend. A great opportunity to get rid of something that you're not using, and it can be put to somebody else's use. And that's coming up this weekend at Pulpit. Of course, Fire Prevention Week is coming up here in the not too distant future, and you guys combine with the Decorah Fire Department for another fun event. Tell us about Touch a Truck.
Yep, you bet, Darren. So one program we've done for many, many years, one of our more popular, if not our most popular program that we do is Touch a Truck. What that program is for folks that don't know is it's very youth driven, kind of geared at little kiddos that are that maybe love any sort of vehicles, whether it be fire vehicles or police or combines, tractors, cement trucks, all sorts of different vehicles. And what the program has entailed, Darren, over the years is it's kind of a joint collaboration with area businesses as well as the fire department with Fire Prevention Week. We've worked with Bonesteiner, Olson Explosives, Don's Towing, and there's been many, many other great businesses in town that have worked with us where they provide a vehicle that is kind of a show and tell or a come and go and to take a look for kiddos that are interested in sitting in a brooming truck or sitting in a tow truck or getting their hands on a John Deere Gator or what have you. And so we're looking to do that again this year. This year it'll be on Saturday, October 4th. We are got a few new details on the event this year, just with some of the construction that I'll talk about here in a second. But Touch Truck as a whole, really looking forward to it. Like I said, we can't do it without the fire departments and Steve Vandenbrink. Steve Vandenbrink has been a huge, huge support and leader for us as far as being able to put this on. So we thank him and also all the area businesses that are looking to donate their vehicles and time for the area youth to come check them out.
All right. I understand there's going to be a walleye fishing kind of learn how to do it thing coming up a couple of days after Touch a Truck. Is that correct?
Yes, yep. And if you don't mind, Darren, one last thing on Touch Truck I forgot to mention was that we are going to be at a different location this year. The big reason is because we have a lot of construction going on outside of City Hall. Typically in the past, we've been behind City Hall for Touch a Truck. We're actually going to be at the fairgrounds this year.
Okay.
And so one thing just for folks to know, we'll still do the event, still have the whole 9 yards, but just will be at the fairgrounds this year, just with all the parking and other facility usage that is going on with the construction. But you mentioned Walleye Fishing Clinic. Walleye Fishing Clinic, man, we're really looking forward to that as well. That is actually, I think it's our third year doing this. Logan Hahn is one of our parks assistants and is a phenomenal employee, but also not only that, but he also has a huge passion for fishing, including walleye fishing. And so this adult walleye fishing clinic and skills clinic that he will be putting on for a third year is kind of a twofold program where for a couple hours, it's kind of like what I would consider classwork, or not even classwork, but more educational learning, where he's going to talk a little bit about the history of walleye fishing in Iowa, bait to be used, different techniques and whatnot in catching. And then after a couple hours of education, we'll be moving outside, actually on the Brecka River, to test out some of those different skills and whatnot that he talks about and do some actual fishing for walleye on the Brecka River. I think it's one thing funny that, Darren, that a lot of people think of Decorah when it comes to fishing. They think of all the trout streams, and it's 100% true that trout streams is a huge attraction, and I think a huge, it's very popular here in Decorah when you're fishing, but there's a lot of walleye fishing opportunities here, even on the Brecka River and some of the other streams, just based on the geography of our part of the state. So really fun for us to highlight that, and for Logan Hahn, our full-time staffer, to lead that program here coming up.
Anything else up your sleeves right now, obviously, besides big muscles?
Yeah. No muscles, Darren. That's all you. That's all you. But no, Darren, honestly, we've had a really nice fall so far. We're off and running with like football and volleyball. We have a lot of volunteers. The Decorah High School football team essentially volunteers all their time to run a lot of the flag football teams, as well as parents. We have a lot of parents volunteering their time on Saturday mornings for volleyball as well, that are volunteering their time to run very successful programs with a lot of kids. We're talking 200, 300 plus kids that are involved in those programs during the weekend. So a huge shout out to them. The next brochure will be coming up on November 15th. So right now, I would recommend folks go on our website to see all the current program we have, but know that on November 15th, that will be our next newsletter and registration program that comes out then. And slowly we're getting closer and closer to winter, which is crazy to think about. But for the time being, we'll enjoy the fall programs and what's to come from those.
Well, it's technically fall now, so I suppose that's the next season in line here on that end of things, Blake. We appreciate you catching up on everything going on with the Decorah Parks and Recreation Department. I know you guys are always busy, and anytime opportunities are given to keep kids active and adults active for that matter, it's a good thing for our community. We thank you for your time as always, and thank you and everybody with the Parks Rec staff for what they do for our community.
Yep, thanks, Darren. I appreciate the coverage.
Blake Moen with the Decorah Parks and Recreation Department. Coming up this weekend is the 49th annual Fort Atkinson Rendezvous Days, and Jay Schwamman is with us to discuss the event, 49 years strong. And Jay, first of all, before we get to talking about the events of Saturday and Sunday, one of the cool part of Rendezvous Days is the Education Day coming up on Friday. Tell us about how that started and how youngsters from throughout the area get to know about Rendezvous Days and Fort Atkinson itself coming up on Friday.
Well, thanks. Good morning, having me on here. So this school day started, I believe it was Alan Becker, and he was the history teacher at Turkey Valley for several years. Al passed away this last year, so we're going to have a little memorial for him this year too. But he really gave a great education to a lot of kids. I'm sure you were the same way in school. It's boring sitting there looking at books, but boy, when you get to be out there and hands-on, it is just nothing more than spectacular. What happens is the students go through different stations with the participants, the buckskinners. One station will show them how they made food in the 1840s. One will show them how they did the medications. One will show them about how they set up their lodge or their teepee. One will show them how they did clothing. Just all kinds of different things of the day in the life back in the 1840s.
And I know this year, according to your Facebook page, 768 students plus faculty from 14 area different schools. I'd imagine that's a really cool thing, the ability to give back to kids in the community through this event.
Oh, absolutely. The biggest year we ever had was 1,000, and that's just a lot to handle. But I can't thank the volunteers, or the group can't thank the volunteers enough that come and help put on this school day and set up these stations for this educational program. The kids are always pretty good. You know, they come and they're clean, they're interested. A lot of them have like a scavenger hunt sheet with them that they have to go through and for their class programs too. So very cool deal.
And then coming up on Saturday and Sunday, the full schedule of events itself. Saturday's events last from 9:30 until 4:30. Why don't you hit on some of the highlights of Saturday?
So Saturday, you know, we're going to open it with a cannon drill, which is pretty cool there. They'll have a Corey shoot for the campers that are registered. They have a flint and steel contest, which is pretty neat, where they have to start a fire with flint and steel, and then there's a twine string that goes that they have to burn. As soon as the first one to burn that twine string wins the contest. These are all for registered campers. The tomahawk throwing contest is neat. They'll take a card and put it on a big 4-foot round log and throw an axe at it and hit that card. Some of them guys are pretty accurate. The primitive bow shoot, they have a styrofoam deer out there that they shoot at, and I've watched that before. And some of these, even these little kids, they're pretty accurate. That's really a neat event there. Gary and Annie Rude will be playing music, old time music. They're very talented. At 1:50 in the afternoon, they'll have kids games and show the games that they played back in the day of the 1840s. They're going to have the anvil shoot at 2:00 on Saturday. There's a bullwhip contest. These guys again too will snap the bullwhip and snap a card in half. Pretty neat. And then we'll have the evening colors with the cannon drill at 4:15, and then at 4:30 they'll let close the fort and let all the buckskinners have their night to themselves. So pretty much the same repeat for Sunday too. The only other thing they'll add on Sunday is they'll have a dummy hanging there, and they'll throw skillets at, and that's pretty neat too. Though it's kind of like when the women are mad at their husbands.
And of course, I see another thing going on, a 5K or run and walk coming up on Saturday too. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, that's great. There's another group that's putting that on. I think Lindsay Stretchka is running that this year, but we've had that for several years now. They have a route that's kind of challenging. There's some hills that you got to go on. We'll start down at the play park or community park down there, and then end at the fort. And it's been a good fundraiser for this event. That's going to be on Saturday at 8:30, rain or shine. We'd like to get people registered by 7:30, starting at 7:30. The people that are registered will get a T-shirt that has all of the sponsors listed on the back for that also.
And one of the great things about this event is the cost to attend this event. You can't get any more reasonable than that.
No, you can't. So, it goes back to these fundraisers. We've done a couple of different fundraisers to keep this program going. It used to be run by the DNR, and then the Friends of Fort Atkinson were involved with them, and then the Friends kind of group ended up with the whole shebang here. And unfortunately, we all know that insurance costs are high, for the 3-day event. So that's where a lot of our money goes. But we got bathrooms, we got firewood, we've got advertising, all these expenses. So we also have a chicken dinner on Saturday night this year from 4 to 7, and that proceeds will help with expenses too. Can't thank all the volunteers enough that have helped with doing all these events.
And I know we're focusing on this year's event right now, but next year it's going to be 50 years. Anything in the front of your mind to celebrate the 50th anniversary of this?
That Friends group is a great group of volunteers. I don't think I'm allowed to let the cat out of the bag yet, but yeah, we're going to do some stuff to celebrate that 50 years. I'm not sure how many participants have actually been there for all 50 years, but I want to say maybe around 3 of the groups have been there every year, the participants. And we have a couple members on the group board that have been involved with this the whole time too. So
that's a pretty neat thing. I tried to get the cat out of the bag, but you held your ground very well there, Jay. Very impressive on that end of things. But anything we're missing, anything else you want to pass on to the public, as long as you got the forum?
No, I think it's a great event. This is what puts our little town on the map. Park anywhere in town. We have shuttle buses that go around town, and if you see them, wave at them. They'll stop and pick you up. There's designated bus stops that'll pick you up and drop you off also. But yeah, come for the 5K, come for the chicken dinner. The church has something going on too. The homemade kolaches, roliki, pies for sale. They'll be in the community center. And then Sunday morning from 8 till 12, they're going to have a breakfast down there and a raffle at noon. But a great event.
Yeah, it always is. Jay, thanks for taking the time to tell us all about Rendezvous Days coming up this weekend. We thank you and everybody else involved with the event to put on this great yearly event here in our neck of the woods. Best of luck with the event this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for 49 years of fun.
Jay Schwamman with Rendezvous Days in Fort Atkinson taking place this weekend. Checking in with Jessica Rilling. She is with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. A lot of things always going on with the Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to touch on a few things over the next few weeks. First of all, Jessica, next week, the Chamber Business Awards. Tell us about what will be happening Tuesday night.
Yeah, this is our Business Awards event. It's the second year. 2025 is the second year. We kicked this off last year during our 100th year celebration, and it was really well received. So we're excited to have our second annual Business Awards Tuesday, September 30th. And this is really about celebrating excellence and highlighting amazing businesses and people in our community. So the official list has been published and released, and it's a wonderful lineup. We're excited to celebrate these businesses and individuals, and they'll be in attendance to receive a physical award. And it's a nice event where we get to talk about what they've done and why we're recognizing them.
And how do you go about choosing the awards winners? How did you come up with the idea to have this event in the first place? And how are you trying to build off the initial Chamber Business Awards from last year?
Yeah, that's a great question. For the 100th year, we looked at a lot of chambers across the Midwest that were similar sizes. Obviously, some chamber organizations are way bigger than us and some are smaller. So we looked at communities that had kind of a comparably sized town and chamber organization to see what they were doing. And this business awards idea showed up quite a bit. And there were, obviously there's ways to scale it to fit your town. And people really liked the idea of that. We're all about serving the business community. And so this was a great fit where we were able to say, like, let's look at some lists, what types of awards are being given, what ones might work for us. And we sort of built it out based on examples from around the Midwest. So the list of awards was one that we discussed with our committees and the board, of course. And as far as how people get picked, that's a good question. There's a lot of excellence here. So that's probably the hardest part, is selecting those award recipients each year. Committee and board and staff all recommend businesses and individuals, and then we do a discussion at the board level and ultimately pick the recipients and announce them. So I would say we're always wanting to stay in touch with what's going on. And so if folks have really great experiences with businesses or are hopeful to see certain businesses or individuals be recognized, they should feel comfortable reaching out and talking to staff, of course, but certainly anyone that serves in those committee or board director roles. We feel like it's important to stay connected with all the types of business and all the sectors. And you'll see that diversity represented in the award winners too.
And I'm
trying to remember what your other question was.
Well, I think you covered everything I had.
Okay.
But that was about a minute and a half ago, so my memory's lapsing in my old age here. But when you, I know it's just a few days away. Can people still RSVP?
Yeah. We would love to have that because of just making sure we have enough space, and we do ask that they RSVP. There isn't a cost to attend, but we do have an RSVP list. So they just need to reach out to chamber staff and let us know that they'd like to come and help celebrate those award recipients.
And where is this event held?
Well, last year we did it on the Vesterheim Commons patio, and it was so beautiful, and we're wildly optimistic that we're going to get the same weather. So we do have it there again, and it is an outdoor event. So put in a good word for beautiful evening weather. But that's a nice setting. Vesterheim was the recipient the first recipient for our excellence in design and construction for the common space. So it's fun to be in that very exceptional space for the award event.
And that's all coming up next Tuesday night. And then moving on to later on in that week, and this will be celebrated over the course of the week, is Decorah Manufacturing Week. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, end of September, beginning of October. A lot of important events for Luther and for the community. I'm sure you saw the Prince is coming on Monday, October 6th. One of the things that we're hoping to lift up also during this busy time is the manufacturing sector. So this is, you mentioned Manufacturing Week. This is a national recognition week. So the Decorah Chamber doesn't pick that set of dates. This is something that's celebrated across the country. So October 3rd through 10th is National Manufacturing Week. This is the second year that our organization has worked to celebrate our local manufacturers as part of this week. So there's great stuff happening, including I think they're calling it a fall festival at Deco Products on October 4th. So folks can't always get into that facility and see what's going on there, but they're hosting an event that has a public component on that Saturday, October 4th, from 11:30 to 2:30. So if you've wondered what they do there and would like to learn more, that's a great public facing event that's happening during Manufacturing Week. And that's an amazing company, an amazing business. They're actually the recipient of the Legacy Award this year. They celebrate 65 years. And the story of their kind of how they picked Decorah and, 7 different like expansions to that facility. It's a wonderful story of local manufacturing. And the 4th would be a good day to learn about it.
And that's all coming up within the next couple of weeks here. Of course, we're getting to that time of the year where harvest is starting in our all-important ag economy. And the Chamber Ag Committee always likes to remind those in the fields, some of the hardest working people around, that you need to take time for yourself and take care of yourself during the harvest season. And an event to remind folks of that is coming up next month. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the Chamber's been doing an event called Stay Safe, Take a Break for quite a few years. It's a way to show appreciation for farmers. We try always to time it during harvest. And then the Chamber Ag Committee packs 180 bags worth of treats and practical items. And we get great help from the FFA to put all those together. And a lot of area businesses contribute to the contents of the bags. Just a really wonderful collaboration to say thank you. Winship County has a lot of producers and farmers. So we don't try to do the whole county every year. We divide it into quadrants. So 2025, the Ag Committee will take 180 like thank you bags to the Northwest quadrant. So that's going to include Bluffton area. And yeah, we're literally driving into the fields and finding them and meeting them and telling them thank you and giving them these appreciation bags.
And of course, the month of October, Halloween's coming up, and you have a Witches' Night Out coming up.
Yeah, that's a fun one. A lot of other small communities do some kind of Halloween event. We have done this a couple years now, and it's pretty well received. So that's a good late night shopping event, 5 to 8 p.m. Thursday, October 16th. And it's a lot of stores do something fun and spooky or have deals. There's a lot of cauldrons. There's a lot of witches brew. The Chamber will release 100 like swag bags for the event. So if you don't have a witch hat, but you want one, that's a good place to get it. But yeah, just, this is a good year to show up for our downtown retailers. And if you can be silly and have a fun time, that's really that's a bonus. So yeah, we'd love to see folks come out for that Halloween event on October 16th. A lot of stores open late, a lot of fun things going on.
That's what's on my Microsoft Word document in front of me. Anything else you want to pass on from the chamber perspective, as long as you got the form?
Just a thank you. I really appreciate all the ways that people in this town show up at stuff. You can plan a lot of events, but ultimately success is in having people join and having people attend. And Decorah shows up. I love that about this place. So thank you for all the ways that you're showing up. We covered a lot there in a few minutes, right? Like community events, business awards, manufacturing, retail, the vibrancy of the downtown, and ultimately all of that is comes back to the people who live here. So I guess that's my last thing, is just like thank you for everyone showing up.
Well, appreciate the time and the information as always, Jessica, and thank you and everybody with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce for what you do to make our community a great place to live.
Thanks for having me, Darren.
Jessica Rilling with the Decorah Area Chamber of Commerce. Hey, thank you to our guests on the program this morning. Brecka Putnam with the Decorah Rotary Club. The Carlson Park Picnic will start in the 5 o'clock hour this evening. I want to thank Blake Moen with the Decorah Parks and Recreation Department. He is inviting everybody to Pulpit this weekend. They have the conference room over there, and that's where the gear exchange will be taking place over the weekend. We also want to thank Jay Schwamman from Fort Atkinson for joining us. Jay told us all about Rendezvous Days that will take place this weekend, 49th annual event. And we want to thank Jessica Rilling from the Decorah Chamber of Commerce. Business Awards will be held next Tuesday night. A few other initiatives taking place as well. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube each and every week. We realize you're busy, can't always be near a streaming device, a smart speaker, or a radio at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning, but we get to talk about community events, interesting topics with interesting people. And we want to bring these conversations to you on your schedule. Go to 925, our town program. And that is how you find it if you're out gallivanting on YouTube. We also put these links up on all of our LA Communications radio station Facebook pages. It's another way we do our best to stay in touch with you, the community, because without you, none of this would make sense. Hey, thank you to our guest. Thank you to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. And we thank you, that's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching our town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.